Psychic readers. I'm sure we've seen them all at fairs, advertising their wares on late night TV, or just hustling you in the street, trying to convince you that you need one of their readings. Some are genuine, and some are experts at giving cold readings, which would normally fit about 80% of the population. And then there are some who claim to channel spirits, and in my experience, some actually do. Channeling spirits is not as hard as it might seem, but, as with most things, all is not what it seems either. There's an odd perception by the public at large that if something comes from a spirit, or a guide, or a ghost, or what have you, then it must be true. Those who believe in psychic readings will latch onto every piece of information they receive, which can be to their detriment. There are certain things that one should really bear in mind if you ever decide to consult a psychic. For example, the future is not set in stone. There is no unavoidable destiny. Everything we experience is because we are creating it here and now. Every choice we make adds to the path we are on. As is often said, life is a process of creation. A psychic reading may well pull you onto a path you did not intend, by making you create what you expect to happen based on the information you were given. There is a maxim that is well worth bearing in mind. Reality creates belief, and belief creates reality. Now, in my personal experience, there are many beings and entities out there on the astral levels. Not all of them are interested in working for the good of people though, and some are mischievous, and some are downright malevolent. Also, just because a psychic is passing on a message, it doesn't mean they actually have the full story. One thing I've learned from my own experiences is that bringing down information to this level can be really a challenge. Often one needs to be attuned, and sometimes the information coming through is clearer than other times, and you really can't be on full time. Not unless you want to risk psychic burnout, which can be a very unpleasant state to be in. And supposing, just for the sake of argument, your messages are crystal clear, it doesn't necessarily follow that the entity delivering the message actually knows what they are talking about. Not everything is clear to those in the astral, and not all information is readily available, at least not on this level. Now I know there are some genuine psychic readers out there, well, based on my experiences anyway. For example, a few years back, I attended a mind, body and spirit expo in Melbourne with a couple of people I had met in a spiritual chat room at the time. We went to a short session that was held by a man called Jason McDonald, at least I think that was his name, who was doing a group spirit reading. Needless to say, I was quite skeptical, as I tend to be. You know, the kind of readings where the reader passes on messages to you from your loved ones. At one point, he said he was getting the smell of freshly cut lawn, and asked if that meant anything to anyone. It did, to one of the ladies I was with, and she told him that it was her father, and then he passed on the message to her from her father. Later on, she told us that before the reading, she had asked her father that if he came through, to indicate it to her by using the smell of freshly cut grass. I thought that was too close to be a coincidence. Also, after the session, the other lady I was with, her name was Maureen, said she wanted to go up to him and find out if he was indeed genuine, and so we went up to the group which had gathered around him to find out. It was a sizable crowd, and me and Maureen were hanging around the back of it, and Jason asked if there was a Maureen in the crowd. She went up to the front, and then for no apparent reason, I was called to join her. He asked us what we were looking for, but I had no answers to that question. I can't recall what Maureen said, but he suddenly said, "Hang on, you're just testing to see if I'm genuine or not, aren't you?" As I was walking away, I felt a presence right behind me. I felt it was probing me to find out who I was. I probed the back, and it became aware that I could sense it, and left right away. My sense was that it was a lower level being, or entity, that while not malicious, was not considered to be on the same level that a guide was either. I wondered if it was passing on information to Jason, and if that was his source. So I'm pretty sure there are genuine readers out there, and genuine readings do exist. But if you ever do get one, just remember to run everything through your feelings. If it doesn't feel right, it's probably not the information you need to hear right now. Remember to always filter the information you get through your feelings.